needs an education. Billy needs this plot controlled. His only friends are some small children. Hey, Billy, leave those kids alone. All in all, it's just a poorly made Sandler call. Yeah.
Nice, dude. Welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I can almost say that without reading my notes. It's been 10 episodes. This is a double feature. I am Luke Lones. I'm here with Chuck Starzynski.
Hey, double digits, a double feature.
And our special guest, Jason Santos.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
And we are double featuring Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
That's right, we're entering the Sandman tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Madison.
Double the atom. Only one of the fun. And as always, for our lovely listeners who are drinking along, today we have a double feature, double drink. So in honor of Billy Madison, we sent him off to school with a snack pack, which is basically just like a mudslide. And, nothing sips better on the green than a nice John Daly. So for old Happy, we made it basically a, he wouldn't drink vodka. Let's be real. He's drinking cheap parking lot ancient age. So it's a whiskey John Daly.
Nice.
Delicious.
Very tasty.
Yes.
Yeah. So
one is significantly thicker than the other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the drinks, too.
Consistency.
Inconsistency with the films, inconsistency with the cocktails here. That's what we're after.
Yeah, you definitely matched the palatability of each one.
Exactly.
Yeah. They did. Very, very much representative. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that the John Daly is in a tall glass.
Yeah.
And there's like 2.5 ounces of the other one.
Hey, it's just more me to love.
All right, we're going to do Billy Madison first. For an elevator pitch, I have rich boy Billy Madison will lose his chance to take over the family hotel mega business unless he can prove to his dad and himself that he can complete grades 1 through 12 all on his own at the age of 25?
28? I think you're being nice with 25.
I wasn't paying attention.
I think there's a bit where he says something like, wow, everyone was way nicer to me in high school like 10 years ago. So,
oh, Jesus. Okay.
So he's almost like he's hitting 30.
It's worse than I thought.
Oh, yeah.
But he only has 2 weeks to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's like...
Well, that's 2 weeks per grade.
Per grade.
Per grade.
Yeah.
Per grade.
But that's my biggest thing with this movie is, but why?
Why does he need 2 weeks in first grade again?
But Daddy, if I can show you I can do this, please, Daddy.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, if I can win the science fair in 6th grade, that shows you I can, run a Fortune 500 company with over, I think, don't they say like over 6,000 employees?
That's the thing, though. Like, he wasn't even like top in the class. He just needed to get through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, C's get degrees. He wasn't like, going to the state fair. It was like, you turned in a project.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Santos, which again, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Excited
What's your personal nostalgia with this movie, or movies? You can do both if you'd like.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, kind of grew up golfing as a kid. So Happy Gilmore and Caddyshack, like those movies,
sure,
always kind of played. And I didn't actually watch Billy Madison until later. I was probably in early high school, when Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison came out on like the 2-pack DVD.
Sure.
So I bought the 2-pack wanting Happy Gilmore, and I got Billy Madison as like a concession. Like, they've always run together because they always had them in the same like 2-pack sleeve with the like wide, like flip open top. You can still picture it.
So it was thrust upon you, kind of like the people in the film itself.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember it being as bad. I don't know. Maybe too early to say that, but
no.
They kind of ran together in my memory, and I remember thinking like, "Oh, those are fun films. That's a fun film."
Yeah.
So yeah, the nostalgia there. I think in rewatching it now as an adult, having worked for a long time in like major hotels, and like they're clearly like Madison is clearly parodying Marriott.
Marriott or Hilton.
Super like parody. So I have a decent amount of experience there. So it was very like, I could see that actually happening. Like, I could see that being like, yeah, that's how you got your job. I got it.
Very much.
Now. So yeah, I think that's my nostalgia is just watching them as a kid with Happy Gilmore. But Billy Madison came in later in life, and then they were kind of intertwined. And watching them separately for this podcast and really diving into each one separately showed me how distinctly different they are.
Strange, right?
Really strange.
Oh, yeah. No, apparently, that's one thing I took away from this entire experiment was a lot can happen in a year, man. Like, it's hard to believe they're only a year apart.
Yeah.
And Madison came first.
Yes.
And Gilmore came after.
Mm-hmm. Which doesn't make any sense because I feel like that's one of those things where you would totally, I made a ton of money, so never mind. I'll eat those words really quick. But I feel like you would just see Billy Madison and be like, oh, this guy, we're gonna make another one with this guy, and he wants to golf. Oh, pleasantly eating those words, pleasantly surprised. Personally, I grew up watching these movies religiously, whether they be on TV or VHS. I think I saw both of them again in tandem, so I feel like I probably saw them around 6 years old, and like everyone I knew as a kid owned these films. So they were just like a sleepover staple too. It was also, the 90s, so it was a little more loosey-goosey with, yeah, sure, we can throw in some assault jokes and stuff like that for these 6-year-olds. It's totally fine. They're trying to go to sleep. Let's give them something nice to watch. But also like often, watch them together so frequently that they just kind of blended together into one film for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like until we did this podcast just now, you put a gun to my head, I would have hard time telling you which jokes and which bits were from each film. But yeah, I got so burnt out on Adam Sandler comedies, and these two specifically, because both of them were just always on TV, that I pretty much vowed not to watch them again. I haven't seen either of these since probably like 08, 09. I always liked Happy Gilmore way more even before we did this podcast, but I feel like Billy Madison was just like it was always quoted more, and maybe it's because I was in school and it's comments about being in school and whatnot, but it was just that thing where it's like, I feel like as a kid, Billy was the more popular of the two.
Yeah, I think that the quotes hit harder, right? They're more memorable, but the film.
I would struggle to call it a film. Doesn't deserve that designation. For me, it was came out in high school, and I didn't actually see either of them, except for in chunks. My friends had them; they either rented them or whatever, and I just happened to like pop in and say hi and catch a couple of the scenes and not know what it was. I knew kind of who Adam Sandler was because of Saturday Night Live and some of the other people, but yeah, it wasn't until like probably 6 years later that the DVDs came out and they played at my friends' houses nonstop. I never purchased them. I want to put that on record.
Smart man.
Happy Gilmore, I could live with, but Billy Madison, nah. That's
what if you got both for the price of one?
Trying to sell me your DVD.
Hear me out.
Special deal. I'm sure that's still in my parents' house somewhere in a pristine sleeve because I kept all the sleeves for all of my DVDs. I was one of those.
Super anal.
Super. So many ways.
But with that, I can't say that they're either both or by themselves without merit. And I aim to prove that to both of you today.
Oh, hey, no. Come at me. I feel like with this one, I'm going to hold my ground on both these.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. So my biggest thing with Billy Madison, and it's a question it's a question as old as time, question I'm sure everyone's been asking since they first saw this movie, fired the film up, and I found myself asking it every 5 minutes or so. Is Billy mentally challenged? Because they just they keep dancing around it. And they keep trying to show you that he's not. But then we keep having these elements where it's like, he's short-tempered, doesn't pick things up very easily, kind of slips into a very toddler state half the time.
Schizophrenic.
Very schizophrenic.
All the gibberish.
I don't
remember all the gibberish. That's really disturbing.
Yeah. No, and it took me until 3/4 of the way through the movie to realize that a big thing that's happening is Adam Sandler doesn't know how to play drunk. The first 6 minutes of this movie, when you like roll into the credits and he's, waking up poolside, picking up Nudie Magazine Day and all of that, which we'll get back into Nudie Magazine in just a moment. But all of that, he's just like time to check the mail and da-da-da-da-da. And I just want to, for the record, not doing a mentally challenged, parody there, not trying to do an impersonation. I'm trying to do an impersonation of Billy Madison because that's what he's doing the entire fucking movie.
Cutting it really fucking close, bud.
I know. I'm just saying. I know how these things work. I know how, you take little sound bites out of this podcast when it's like,
that's what's going on
mentally challenged. And then all of a sudden, it's me and Tucker Carlson on the same pod after this.
I didn't say you are a jackass. I said you were acting like a jackass.
Exactly.
Completely different. We'll draw the line there for you. Yeah, I think that they missed a piece early on by going straight into that scene of him being really, really drunk, but you don't really see that part, right? So you're not sure if he's drunk because he's not acting like anyone would normally act drunk. So you can't like automatically identify that as inebriated.
Until you guys are mentioning this, I didn't really think about that part. I kind of tuned that out. I'm used to tuning out this movie so much that I didn't even think about, he's not portraying someone who's drunk.
No, he's doing a terrible job. I think a big part of it, too, is like probably the studio, because I feel like this movie being a movie about a guy who goes back to school and hangs out with a bunch of kids, saying that aloud, pretty troubling. But I think the studios saw this as an opportunity to, push this movie on kids. So there's explicitly, they have drinks. There's beer cans. There's like half finished like margaritas and daiquiris and stuff like that. But you never really see them actually consume anything.
The fucking Howard the Duck syndrome.
Exactly. And there's a scene later on, which is, this movie's not without merit. There's some good scenes in this movie. But there's a scene later on where they're on a field trip and all the school lunches are missing. And one of the chaperones is like, who would just take 72 school lunches? And it's Chris Farley, Norm Macdonald, and the other guy whose name I have written down.
So that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's very much a that guy. But they're all laughing their asses off, just crushing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And it's like, clearly they're stoned.
Yeah.
Clearly they're super high, stealing like a bunch of apples and peanut butter and jellies from children. But they never explicitly say that. They never show anything. So you're just like, oh, these guys are just a bunch of big sillies with appetites. Which is like a big, that just doesn't translate throughout the entire film because you're like, oh, is Billy slow? Or no, he did a whippet off camera. We didn't get to see that, but he's totally like, he's just high on whippets or he's just wasted.
I think you'd have to be dragging a can and a mask around with nitrous oxide to behave that long.
Oh, to be on his level, yeah.
I mean,
he's definitely a lightweight.
He's got the funds to do it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that is bizarre. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, doesn't make sense.
If that movie was made now, though, the narcotics would be completely different. You would see a very different state for Billy Madison. And you think of going back to like Hilton and like Paris and that wasn't alcohol or whippets.
No, he'd be Billy Nodison. Billy Fentison. Yeah. Oh, man.
His best friend, Needles.
Exactly. Come on, boy.
So I'm not chasing a penguin around. Fucking dragon.
I know, that was the thing, too. It's like, that's what took me so, like, the penguin thing, all of that, like, the penguin is supposed to be, I guess, like when you see pink elephants when you're super hammered, like the old wives' tale. But that was a thing that was so hard to swallow for the first 2/3 of the movie. It's like, is he just delusional? Is he slow? Like, did he get hit in the head with a hammer? What happened? Why is he seeing the penguin?
I think it's just, that's putting too much faith in the fact that they thought about it and that you're supposed to make sense of any of it.
Well, luckily he's got people looking out for him. Like his maid.
Plenty of money.
And plenty of money.
Plenty of money.
Oh, I love the maid so much.
Yeah, if I, just to jump ahead, like as I have for the person who won the film is Juanita.
Oh yeah, Juanita's great.
One, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I completely forgot her part and her jokes and her like sexual advances.
Oh yeah, no,
That's the best. Like
I'm also so happy that he's not slow and he's just like, drunk and spaced out on drugs because she wants to fuck him so bad.
he wants that ass.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have been troubling for other reasons. Being the adult going back to school and like befriending a bunch of 8-year-olds. That's weird, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. This movie's a lot with that kind of stuff. Which I don't know if you want to just bounce around on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
When do we not, man?
I know. But I mean, like,
We'll figure that out later.
Okay. Well, you had talked about, befriending 8-year-olds and stuff. One of the most uncomfortable scenes in this entire movie, and there's a few, but for me, the most uncomfortable scene in the entire movie is it's Valentine's Day, and Billy's getting all these love notes from children because he's in a class with children. And they're all just like, the children's notes are very innocent, to their effect. It's like, Billy, be mine. And like, Billy, I only have eyes for you. Things like that. Like things that you would just get in a Valentine from anyone. But all the little girls are making goo-goo eyes at him. And instead of being like, thank you. Like, sure. He's like taking it in.
He leans into it.
Yeah, he leans into it super hard. He's like, slicking back his hair, like, and just kind of like not blowing kisses, but definitely like, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Tamara. Absolutely. We are totally going to hook up after this.
Like, I think that plays into like the rich boy like persona, right? Is like, of course I'm the coolest guy in the room. I'm going to take all of that in. It doesn't matter if I'm in a room of 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Still the coolest guy in the room.
Your Honor, it doesn't matter if she was 8. She,
She came on to me.
She wanted it.
She wrote the Valentine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
she knew what she was writing. She's in 7th grade.
Fucking awful. But I do.
Well, that was a setup for the principal guy.
Yes, I was going to say, I do appreciate that, though, because I do love the weird B story of the principal along with Juanita wanting to fuck him. He tells Billy several times throughout the movie that he's horny.
There's actually assault.
Yeah, there's a full-on assault at the end.
Full-on assault from that guy.
What more would you expect from... is it the Dangerous Blob? What is his wrestling name?
I don't know.
Fuck. We're so good at research, folks. I have all these notes and I don't have his wrestling name. It's all good. But anyways,
cut to post-production.
Exactly.
I'll insert that now.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things from the film still, I have an affinity for jokes about being stuck in school because I didn't have a horrible time, but I love being out of school. When I think it's like the 3rd grader asked Billy what high school is like. And Billy grabs his head and is like, stay where you are. It's good here. What was it?
Don't leave. Stay as long as you can.
You gotta cherish it.
Cherish.
That's a line from the film I've always endeared.
Oh, yeah. No. I absolutely loved that bit as a kid, but now watching it like as a grown man and trying to watch things critically too a little bit more, I was like, oh, he's just like projecting the fact that he's not, because that follows when he goes to high school. So he's just like projecting on this child that he's not accepted by, like, you kids are the cool kids, you 8 and 9-year-olds. You guys get me. These 15-year-olds over here, oof, let me tell you.
Yep.
Like, no, it's like, stay here where you're cool. Yeah. Was kind of like how I was just like, ugh. Oh, God.
There's another film I'm sure we'll do eventually, Top Secret.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
I have. Not in many years.
There's a gag where the main character, Val Kilmer, he's having a nightmare about being back in school. He's wandering the hallways. He can't find his class. He's not prepared to take his test. And then he wakes up in a jail cell being tortured. And he's like, oh, thank God. I laughed at that joke as a kid for hours. Like, I just couldn't watch the rest of the movie because I was stuck on that joke. Like, those kinds of things just get me.
Oh, but yeah, the premise of this movie.
And that movie's just way better. Can we talk about Top Secret?
Yeah, why don't we just, hard cut to Top Secret.
We have another movie still to finish on.
Oh, yeah. Damn it. We don't have Top Secret, Luke.
I want it.
Come on, your Billy Madison's getting cold. But yeah, I do. There are some fun, like, this movie's not all garbage. There's some fun jokes and fun little bits in here. Like, I do love all the side characters, like I usually do with movies. Like, I love Norm Macdonald in this.
Norm.
Yeah,
He's
Norm,
so
man.
fucking good.
R.I.P.
Yep, rest in peace, man.
I love that before he, tries to quote unquote get his shit together and go back to school and whatnot, there's a night where Adam Sandler and the gang go pickle racing. Like they just go to like a diner and throw pickles on the windshield of like not the windshield, but the glass of a restaurant.
Diner.
Yeah, the diner, and just watch them fall down and cheer them on. And that's followed up with lighting dog shit on fire for an old man to stomp out, like as 30-year-old men. And then it just, after that, hard cuts to them just kind of like, lamenting, laying back in the moonlight. And Norma says, "This is the greatest night of my life."
As a kid, I remember that the dog shit scene like vehemently.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think for me, it was like at that point kind of triggered like, oh, comedy has stages. Like the joke is not that I just lit a bag on your door. It's like, no. I just made you step on dog shit.
And then he called the shit poop.
Yeah.
Those are the words.
You just said poop.
Yeah.
Those are the words that were repeated in my life over and over, not by me, by people in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the military. People who are supposed to be professionals.
Supposed to be protecting us.
Protecting people. Yeah. The people you trust to save your lives. They're laughing at those poop jokes.
Also on the lighting shit on fire thing. This movie was also, because I saw it at a young age, I saw it like 6 years old or so. This movie taught me a lot. This was my first encounter with Ding Dong ditching a bag of flaming shit on somebody's front door. So I was like, oh, you can do that. That's a thing. Who do I know that owns a dog?
How do I get my hands on poop?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we sure it was dog shit?
Good point.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. He finds it on the sidewalk. But I mean, we don't have confirmation.
Doesn't mean it's dog poo. Didn't look
true.
like dog poo. It looked kind of like a melted Snickers.
I also learned from this movie you can order Nakey Mags through the mail. How excited he is for Nudie Magazine Day.
Not you had to.
You had to, exactly.
Do we want to cut to that and do you want us to read all of the covers? Because
that's what.
Good Lord.
Which, you know what? He is
sexually adventurous.
He's sexually adventurous.
Yeah.
He's a man of many tastes. And
super progressive.
Actually, very progressive. Yeah, we don't kink shame here. We don't. Everyone's allowed to like what they like. But yeah, Billy subscribes to Shemale Fiesta. Is the first one out of his like. That's the top. That's like right there. He's like, okay, and he's like, good, but next, and then the following is women over 80.
Yes.
She may not be able to stand, but don't worry, she doesn't need to.
Gilfs.
Yeah, Gilfs.
Throwback to
I think those are
earlier.
Yeah.
One of the earlier episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gilf.
I think if you're over 80 though, you're probably a Gilf.
Yeah, the G Gilf. Like,
a double G Gilf.
G squared. Exactly.
And then this is the most problematic. This is the only problematic one. There's a magazine just called Drunk Chicks. Which is like, yeah.
It's bad, but I still laughed.
Oh, I know.
Because the cover is just two women, like not in sexual poses.
No, they're just having a good time.
Sitting in front of alcohol bottles, looking really wasted.
And at this point in the film, we're still not sure
if he's slow.
Exactly.
Like, he's also the most excited for that one.
Yeah,
he's
it adds
like,
a whole other level of like, can I laugh at this? I don't know.
Does he know what alcohol is?
Right.
Does he know what's happening to these women?
I'm thinking right now that was another part of the filmmaker, whoever you want to blame, was their idea of helping us relate to Billy. Because he likes alcohol.
He likes alcohol. He likes a good time. He likes beating off. He's an everyman. While we're on the him acting.
Speaking of beating off,
while we're on the subject of him acting like a slow person / child, if he's not slow, what's with the shampoo versus conditioner fight?
Oh, that's one of those quotes.
Oh, I know.
It stuck for decades.
It tells you something about the audience of these films, like of what was quoted the most.
I mean, that's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nuts very much. No, but also like that was one of the bits that like don't get me wrong.
To be fair, shampoo is better.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Don't start this fight.
Team shampoo every time.
Yeah, team shampoo.
But I mean, this was one of those bits that like wasn't funny when I was 7.
Dare I say shampoo?
Oh, he just called shit shampoo.
God damn it.
Speaking of mudslides.
Exactly.
It's delicious.
Also, speaking of mudslides, yeah, just needing a snack pack to motivate you as a grown man. It's like, I don't want to go to school. I got snack packs.
I was never a chocolate pudding kid.
No?
No. Tapioca.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Who are you?
I was
Well,
also-
actually, that makes sense. I know who you are.
It was also like my go-to order at McDonald's. Still like
They have tapioca at McDonald's?
no.
Okay.
But like it's in the same vein. Like I'm the reason the fish fillet is still on the menu. Yeah, it's the half slice of cheese, the really soft bun.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what you like, you just like it.
Exactly. I fuck with the fish fillet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy likes drunk chicks and I like fish fillets.
Exactly.
Don't kink
Both-
shame me.
Both men of culture. What can I say? Something I really didn't remember from this movie was all of the unnecessary non sequitur like dancing and singing.
I did not realize how many musical bits there were.
No.
Yeah.
That was like
don't-
completely erased out of my
Don't
memory.
know why they're there.
There's a weird, again, he might keep coming back to it because I kept coming back to it the entire time I watched the movie. But there's a bit after he has the confrontation with Eric and his dad about like he's not fit to run the company. Oh yeah, I'll show you. I'll just repeat school over the course of like 3 months because that, proves some kind of point. After that bit and it gets set up, Billy does like a fun little dance number to music that's not playing. This is like
Non-diegetic.
music that, he is not hearing. There's nothing happening. So he's just like having a good old time speaking gibberish and dancing down the stairs. And it's like, what is this movie? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a reference to something. Like dancing down the stairs seems like an early 1940s meme.
Yeah, but like this movie is not going for like a, hey, this is like a Fred Astaire joke.
They break out into a full fucking musical.
That's
like
true.
20 minutes later. So I don't know.
I just figured that they like the studios were like, we paid for 94 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 3 minutes short, Madison.
Yeah.
Good sir, this is universal. 94 minutes. I demand satisfaction.
I did appreciate, like, this was in the golden era of like when movies were exactly an hour and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like palatable. You can get through it with like not having to take like 6 bathroom breaks.
Yep. Yeah. It's a calculated thing that studios did. So
Said it once, say it 2 hours and 47 minutes again. No movie needs to be, I don't care, break it up. No movie needs to be longer than an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like nothing. It's like, make a fifth one. They'll get to Mordor eventually. Like make a fifth one. Just don't make me sit there, please.
it's something that's always been experimented with, even since the dawn of cinema. They try to get people to sit through 3 hours of film, and they figured out, we're torturing them, and they're leaving halfway through.
Especially now, right? Like so many studies of like attention spans going down and down and down.
It's
and
far
down and
worse.
down.
Yeah.
But movies are getting longer.
It's because they're events, Jason.
Sure. And for those of you listening, I don't come from like a cinematography background. So talk to me about food all day long. My fish fillet ability runs deep. But yeah, 3 hours is a long time.
That's a long goddamn time, no.
We brought you on because you're attachment to rich people and golf.
Yeah, rich people, golf,
He's our expert.
Hotels.
Yeah, hotels.
Luxury,
Exactly, yeah.
like hospitality, yeah.
You're the other side of the coin. I've been looking at tails all day. I want to see what heads is. Tell me about it, Papa.
Yeah, the Eric character. I've worked with a lot of Erics in my life.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, probably not a controversial opinion, but Eric deserves the fucking company. Like, why is Billy even in the running?
Let's be real. Billy's going to make Madison hotels fold in exactly 9 weeks.
Yeah.
9 weeks. Eric's going to keep that company going, and Billy's going to have a much better life.
Oh, yeah. No, I have that written in my notes because that's one of the things that is said is like, it's not like, oh, he's getting the company and then kicking Billy out. It's like, no, Billy gets to stay a fucked up rich kid his entire life.
I never understood that, like...
Yeah, he wasn't losing much.
No, he's not. He's gaining.
But that's like a real phenomenon. Like, I've never understood it, and unfortunately I'll never get to understand it, but like the idea of like, oh, I've been a rich fuck up kid this whole time and now my parents are retiring, but I should take the business. Like, this business is mine to run into the ground. Like, no. Just pay the people.
Oh, they're all stuck on Game of Thrones. And I think it's the entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
The blood right.
I mean, sometimes it's just nice to cash checks. Like, just cash checks.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I have a lot of similar experiences, and it's not bizarre. It's all they have.
That's fair.
Because we're getting really, really deep on this subject.
I know. I like this.
For talking about Billy Madison, but
hey,
yeah, the psychology, as far as I can tell, for people who've never had to struggle and fight and make their own way, especially growing up in formative years. Once you get to the edge of the cliff, your parents are going to be going away soon, and you have nothing. You have no skills. You got nothing to back up. The only thing you have is to grab onto the fucking family jewels for dear life.
Yeah, but like, isn't there someone in that person's life? Like, where's the Juanita to be like, just like, take the money.
She's far too aggressive.
Run away to Jamaica with me, and like,
yeah,
like, let's have Rasta babies.
I think the hotel would be in fine hands with Juanita. Over Billy. Yeah, but I'm with you on
much
there.
a dead clown.
Yeah, pretty much everyone. Like, if they were like, Mr. Penguin, you're getting the keys.
Exactly.
You'd be like, I didn't see that coming, but
yeah,
there could be worse.
Everyone's going to live. People are going to keep their jobs.
Exactly.
Hoorah.
Yeah. Also, I threw it in there because I wanted to talk about him. There are exactly 2 moments in this movie that made me laugh. And it kind of speaks to who I am, unfortunately.
Twice?
I laughed twice.
Like, this time you watched it?
Yes.
Oh.
Only twice, though. It's when Billy is having the celebratory, because he has a party every time he graduates a grade. He's having his first grade party. And everyone's having a great time. And there's a clown on stilts. And the clown, backs into something and falls over and falls off his stilts. And everyone has a good time laughing and giggling. And we see the clown fall, has the pratfall that we see in so many movies.
12 feet.
Exactly. And then we just see the clown stay on screen just 2 seconds too long. And blood begins to just drip out of his mouth. And it's like, oh shit, he's dead. And then it's hard cut to like, I guess we're going into second grade.
One of the few dark moments in the film,
Exactly.
which I really enjoyed. Yeah.
And that also leads me to my second favorite bit, which is another dark moment. It has to be third that he's graduating. Because it's like after the very prolific meeting of Veronica Vaughn, who is so hot, we want to touch the hiney, auga. As a direct quote from Billy.
Glad you covered there. Good.
Exactly. But also had a big crush on Veronica Vaughn growing up.
Can you do it in the voice?
I could, yes. For the record, sir, can you repeat that in the voice? But anyways, it is fine. Veronica Vaughn, so hot, want to touch the hiney. Auga.
So a good time to mention our Patreon if you
exactly
have a few bucks to spare.
If you pay us money, I will not do things like this.
This is what you'll get.
Yeah, exactly.
Not get.
Chuck will do the whole podcast again in that voice.
Exactly.
Playing all 3 of us.
My favorite part was, but no, all I wanted to say is it's like the 3rd grade graduation party, and it's like summertime, I guess, because of course it is. We're having like a slip and slide party and whatnot, and there's just the unnamed, I'm gonna look his name up right now because I'm gonna keep referencing him, but the unnamed friend of his that's not Norm Macdonald,
The
other guy.
the other guy, the weird guy, is just torturing a child with a hose. And the little kid's like, stop it, mister. I don't know who you are. Why are you doing this? And Billy walks up and is like, hey, man. Like they have some banter. And then he walks away and the guy continues to just waterboard this kid. There he is. Mark Beltzman. Thank you.
Has he been in anything else?
#1 filmography on IMDb is Billy Madison. Have you heard of that one?
No.
He was also in Speed 2. Not Speed, but Speed 2. Wedding Singer.
Couldn't make the first one, huh?
Wedding Singer. They liked him so much.
Oh, Adam's just got a bunch of people on payroll. So
yeah.
Nothing else I know.
Well, my pick for one of my favorite people in the film was Miss Lippy.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say we'd be doing disservice if we don't go back to 1st grade really quick and talk about Miss Lippy.
I have to confess, after watching this again, I haven't watched this in probably 20 years.
I don't blame you.
But after knowing what I know now, studying, college, all that stuff, she is an amazing teacher.
Oh, yeah.
She sets boundaries. She includes everybody. She's really nice. And she's just fucking weird. And I love her. She's like an icon. She's always been an icon.
She is Yeah, I very much went to public school, but she is very much like, I don't know if this is a thing outside of California, but she's a Waldorf teacher to the max.
Yeah.
This is like, collective learning,
Kumbaya.
wooden toys, kumbaya kind of stuff. Like one of my favorite scenes is when they're playing dodgeball and Billy's like, I don't want to play dodgeball with children, comes back and she's just listening to drum circles and dancing around, having a great time. And she goes, dodgeball time is a special time, not just for you boys and girls, but for Miss Lippy too, and shoos him out.
Setting boundaries. Very important. Very important for first graders.
Also, dodgeball in first grade? Like
I was surprised he didn't play.
At first, and then he starts pegging
That's
small children
true.
in the face.
For real, apparently.
But he had like a moment of like, no, this isn't cool.
Well, he got out really quick.
He did.
By O'Doyle.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Had to to O'Doyle's.
O'Doyle rules.
All the O'Doyles.
I do love that there's an O'Doyle for there's 12 O'Doyle children. There's an O'Doyle in every single grade. So these people consistently had a kid every single year.
Yep. And the one in high school looks like he's 30 in his
Exactly.
30s.
I was going to say, maybe they didn't have one every year. Maybe
played football already. He's been through professional football.
Exactly.
Doyle rules.
Oh, man.
That was another one that just got like
run into the ground.
So much.
Yeah. And
So
it's a joke that's been repeated on a lot of other TV shows.
Specifically O'Doyle?
No, Steve Holt. I think was it not Parks?
No, that's Arrested Development.
Arrested Development. Steve Holt.
Exactly. Doyle rules. Steve Holt. Yeah, same kind of bit.
Vance Refrigeration? No? Office?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
The Office?
I love that one. Bit of trivia. The lunch lady who's in one scene handing out the sloppy joes.
Oh, I fucking love her.
I
hope you kids like them extra sloppy.
Did you look into her at all?
No, I did not.
So
I should have.
This is Joyce Gordon, and she was Mrs. Seidenbaum in Stay Tuned.
Oh, no fucking way.
One of our first films we covered.
That's amazing.
Throwback.
Yeah, and this is like one of the only other films she's been in.
Yeah.
So it's like just a weird connection there.
Yeah, no, this movie's really good at just like the quick little 2-second jokes. Like, yeah, the sloppy Joe bit is great. Like, lady, you're scaring us. And then she's gone. And then she never comes back until the end when she's like making out with someone. Not Chris Farley, because Chris Farley makes out with the penguin.
Yeah, who is she making out with? Did she come back? I thought that was her only scene.
No, there's like there's a callback at the end where everybody starts just making, which again, this is fucking problematic as hell. There's a bit at the end where, everyone just starts kissing during his graduation.
For nitpicks,
I thought we've been picking for a while.
that's fine. Who walks into a giant tent in a yard and heads straight for the Portishead?
Oh, I know. I love that too. I feel like that was just like a money thing. Like they didn't have enough funds to shoot inside the mansion.
Was she like a porno magnet? She's just like drawn to like...
But also, what rich kid builds a tent? Again, keep coming back to it. Is he mentally challenged? Who builds a fort outside and then has a porta potty that's your beat off den within said
Just
tent?
so many posters on there. And it's just like, like you can feel how sticky those like hinges are.
Oh, it's so humid in that tent. It's so humid.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to bring that up.
And like the smell. Like, could you imagine the smell in a tent outside, the heat?
I don't want to.
Where's it like fictitiously set?
I don't know. It's like very much like Anytown America kind of vibe.
America, yeah.
Somewhere hot.
Yeah, somewhere hot.
Hot enough.
Midwest, yeah.
Midwest. Hot enough.
It gets hot in the summers, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot, humid.
Not to say that's my only nitpick with the film, but that's the one I wrote down. So that's how much I was paying attention to.
I got a lot of nitpicks. I mean, I feel like I've been touching on them, but I want to talk about Chris Farley in a positive and a negative light at the same time.
All right.
First of all, I forgot he was in this and he played the bus driver. He's so fucking good.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mr. Farley. No yelling! And just screaming no yelling on the bus at the top of his lungs. And he's great, but my only negative thing to say about Chris Farley's bit is he upskirts Miss Veronica Vaughn when she's getting on the bus and then lies about having sex with her. Which is like
over and over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't, but a friend of mine did. Okay, well, he didn't, but you could imagine what it would be like the two of them. All right.
And I can see him ad-libbing that on set.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like, I mean, another fun fact, there was a script, but Adam Sandler ad-libbed basically all of his dialogue.
Yeah.
So I imagine that Chris is also just like, oh, yeah, let me just go in.
Most of it was just like bumbling, though.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's why, maybe his like, that's like his version of scatting. That's like him, like he's free forming jazz. He's just like trying to come up with the jokes, and that's just his in between, like, hey, Miss Lippy, dooba dooba doop. And then, yeah.
That was good, Adam. On this take, let's just make some more noises, okay? And go.
Can you do more booba dooba doos and less dubba dubba does?
Oh, that was another. We talked about the his tent with his weird jack off porta potty. But within that, another one of my favorite bits is it's another Chris Farley bit where he's studying for the decathlon to beat Eric, because this movie doesn't need two unnecessary contests for him to somehow win/fail upward and get the company. No, it needs two. But they're studying, and Veronica and Billy are playing strip study. And he's like, Magna Carta, 1593, 1793, 1981. And she's like getting dressed back up. And we got like one little second cutaway, and then we come back, and he's still playing strip poker, but now he's playing with Chris Farley. And Chris is playing so coy. He's like, that is correct. And he's like, will I take it out? Oh, yes, I will. Oh, this is so liberating. Oh, man. Yeah, more Chris Farley in this movie, less Adam. Would have been a great time.
Yeah. Tommy Boy.
And
exactly. I was going to say, that's just a better movie called Tommy Boy, which, yeah, we should do Tommy Boy. We have to do Tommy Boy. That's
I appreciated, Norm, right? Norm Macdonald, someone that I've was a late in life, person that I followed. So I didn't realize it was Norm Macdonald when I originally watched it. And I was like, oh, well,
sure.
that's a young Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
But the delivery, and I wasn't a Saturday Night Live guy at all.
Right.
So this was my first iteration with Adam Sandler and that whole group.
Mm-hmm.
But Norm's just dedication to his timing and tempo, and every single thing he does is just great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just so good. So good.
You ever happen to see Dirty Work?
No.
That film
We'll do Dirty Work, don't worry.
Came out 2 years later, and that was a
Norm Macdonald vehicle.
Pretty much, he was the lead actor. So
yeah.
you get to see him 100% of the time in the film. Chris Farley's in it again. Adam Sandler. Yeah. Same people.
I'm afraid to see if that one holds up, actually.
Oh, there's a lot of problems in it.
Oh, yeah.
But I have strong nostalgia for it.
I do too.
Yeah,
I also have
Stay tuned, everybody.
That's
exactly.
right.
I have a theory about Norm Macdonald too, because he was such a amazingly talented stand-up comedian and a pretty talented sketch comedy comedian as well. But I have a theory that he hates movies or hates acting in them, because he's only in his friends' films. It seems like he picks really bad things to be in. He just does bit parts in, it's like, oh yeah, this is a David Spade vehicle, we'll be in it.
Sure.
But that being said, he plays himself. He's just he's like, no, I'm going to show up. I'm going to get the check, but what's this? I'm a Jamaican. No, I'm not. I'm just Norm Macdonald. It's going to be funnier if I'm just on the beach.
Yeah.
Just being myself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, my read on him was his shtick was that he kind of saw the world as beneath him, no matter what. And everybody else is stupid. Everything he did was stuck doing was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the gag. I don't think he really thought that. That was just his
But that was
personality he
that
came
was
up with.
Billy's entourage, right? Essentially.
It was part of it, yeah.
We're looking at it.
Norm Macdonald was his turtle, to
Right.
make a very dated reference, yeah.
Yeah, the entourage is they're fancy because they know fancy people. They're not actually fancy.
Yeah.
I think they played that well.
Well, they're just hangers on.
Yeah.
They're just there because they get margaritas
Oh.
fed to them. And
Put it on their tab.
yeah, exactly. One other of their entourage, someone else who I have second place winning the film, is James Downey. He is the second principal who runs the contest at the end of the film.
decathlon host. Oh my God.
He's in a lot of the films, and he was also in all of the memes. He is so meme heavy. He's in this one where I award you no points. You see this everywhere.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, I'll put this picture up on the audio and you can hear it. But you know what I mean, because it's so out there and it's been around for so long.
No, he's incredible. I love that he's like a high school dean or whatever he's supposed to be, but it doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Well, he's the replacement principal because the wrestling
because
principal
the wrestling principal gets kicked off. But I love that he has these really deep-seated infidelity issues with his wife.
Yes.
And like all those jokes just keep coming like back into the film. When they're doing the Jeopardy style, all the screens with different categories for $500 and whatnot. I love that two of the categories, along with, arithmetic, poetry, English, things like that you would actually be talking about in an academic decathlon. I married common street trash as a category, and so is my spouse is sleeping around.
Subtle.
Touched on him, another very, very bit part, and I'm guessing he's in this because he was in Airheads, which we should do Airheads too.
Oh, for sure.
But Steve Buscemi just popping in as the loner from high school that Adam picked on that he finally makes amends with.
Yep.
They're working on his death list while putting on red lipstick.
he's actually part of my verdict for the film. So
yeah,
I don't know if you want to, how much more y'all want to talk about it, but we can get towards the end.
Can we get to the good movie yet?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of what I've got on this. The only other two quick bits I wanted to touch on with Billy, and then I'm done. We can close the door on this guy. Was I love the abuse that occurs to Billy, not the sexual, but like the physical.
Glad you clarified.
Yeah, I love it when he gets
edit that part out.
Again. Exactly. I know how sound bites work. Just gonna cut out not. It's gonna be. I love the abuse that happens to Billy. The sexual. But no, I love that Veronica, who again, it's an Adam Sandler vehicle. He has to get the gal at the end. But I love that there's just a scene where she beats the living shit out of him in a pool.
Oh yeah, to like come kick his ass. So, like,
yeah,
whip him into
exactly.
Shape. Yeah.
And I love that happens. And also good on her for wearing so many layers, because like the studio got her in like a wet t-shirt scenario.
They tried.
And they tried so hard. And
so
she's just
hard.
she's like, that's cool. You can't see anything under my 3-piece suit, my guy.
Yeah, I do distinctly remember that on the second.
Yeah.
That would have been a great like PG-13.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Where's the unrated version of Billy Madison?
The one redeeming moment cut out. And then my other
Would
favorite
have been
thing
a whole new movie.
with people just abusing him is I love it when he gets to high school and he's not cool anymore. And it's like, oh, the high schoolers get to treat him the way I want to treat him. Like they're all just like fill his locker full of shit and just like no one wants to be within 10 feet of him. Like, ugh, yeah.
You think the school's in on that gag? They have to be in on it, right?
Oh, they're getting paid off. I'm sure they're getting a wing.
No. I'm talking about like all these gags of like, oh, I like filled your locker with shit. Like that's like a common trope.
Yeah.
How are these people getting the combinations? They're getting them from an admin, somebody working in the office. There's an inside job.
It's an inside job.
Inside job.
Fucking hell, I didn't even think about that.
It's probably Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, he already got the principal fired.
Yeah,
What's to stop him from figuring out a locker combo?
Man, this thing goes deep.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more cerebral.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Jason, do you think it's just a subtle nod that they have a reference to Hamlet? And it's like, no, this is Hamlet.
Yeah.
This is, oh my God, it is Hamlet, actually.
It's all in
Please
iambic.
crack the code.
It's all in iambic pentameter.
Yeah.
If you really listen to it.
That's what
That's the dooba dooba doo.
exactly. It's just to keep him on beat. Oh my God, it is fucking Hamlet, though.
This puts a whole new angle on things.
It's a young man taking the supposed to be taking the throne from his father.
Yeah.
An uncle-like character is coming to usurp him.
He's got the ghost of his past haunting
He's got the
him.
ghost of his past haunting him. Yeah.
I feel like it's Hamlet, but the writers aren't educated enough to know it's Hamlet, so they like just stole Lion King.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say
They're it's Lion King.
Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are just like all of the children. It's like the bespeckled kid and, or I guess it would be Norm Macdonald and the other buddy.
To the last
fuck?
person still listening.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Well, yeah, we can, I feel like we've done it. We got a whole nother movie to talk about. We can wrap this guy up.
Sure. I just wanted to go back to the Steve Buscemi character.
Oh yeah, please do.
No, just as the verdict. So the one redeeming moment for this film is when Adam Sandler calls the Steve Buscemi character an old acquaintance or friend from high school who he used to pick on, make fun of, and do whatever to apologize for being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And his specific things he said were, it's somewhat ironic. That's the very notion and idea of this podcast, is to go back and look at the things that we used to laugh at, but it turns out are just mean. And they say that specifically in the film. And it's like, holy shit, that's why we're doing the Nostalgia Killers. So this entire podcast is a phone call back to the people we used to pick on and
Is Billy Madison the deepest film we've ever done?
According to Jason, it is.
I'm like freaking out a little bit. I'm not kidding. I came in like, oh yeah, this is the, I lost so many brain cells. I was going to say like the whole speech that the host of the decathlon says, where it's like,
David Blaine's about to like pop out of nowhere.
Yeah. But yeah, despite, the lipstick application soon after, it's a very touching moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how everyone should, a realization everyone should come to at some point.
Make amends, people. It's not too late.
And
choking up a little bit.
The Nostalgia Killers is Billy Madison. So,
yeah. Are we Hamlet too? Is that?
Yes, Chuck.
Is everything just Hamlet?
I think you're more of a Hamilton.
Oh.
But for me, I'm just going to continue to monitor the film. Can't quite let it live. Can't kill it. So, and you've listened to what we do, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead. And,
I'm the only listener, actually.
Oh, I know.
Like, we got 900 listeners.
You're the guy.
It's just Jason.
I did not like this film.
Yeah.
I did not like it. I think the premise is just so hard to get anywhere near, even in like a comical, like it's silly sense.
Sure.
I don't think I can get past it. And like as a professional, like the thought of, just pass high school again and you'll get the keys to a Fortune 500 company just like irks me. It irks me.
So down to your crawl.
Yeah, down deep. So
that's awesome.
I'm gonna let it live in the grand DVD player.
I was gonna say you're just gonna leave it in your double disc.
Cool.
Yeah,
Right, gotcha.
Yeah, it's in the double disc and staying there.
You may be the first guest we've brought on with baggage. I love it.
The first one that's spoken about it at least.
So much. I mean, it's a really touching film. You really like angsted out of me. I didn't realize I was signing up for a therapy section.
Yeah.
Is this my intervention?
Just want to quick hit you with just two things we didn't touch on really fast, and then I will do my thing. We'll keep this podcast train rolling. The Mucus Queen is yours. The bit where the woman he has a crush on, who's one of the mothers of the first graders, is wiping the snot off her son's face, and then she does the whole classic kind of like beautiful woman wiping sweat off her brow bit, but with snot. Yeah, it's very iconic.
It wasn't her brow.
No, it was her chest. And then the only other little quick bit was stalling for time. We'll cut this out. Oh, we didn't touch on if peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. The random woman with dementia who is on she's, I guess, supposed to be part of like the old timey farm they're visiting.
Oh, she's the tour guide. Yeah,
she's the tour guide, but the whole time she's like, why am I here? What's happening? Who are you people? She's pretty great, honestly. Exactly. But no, man, as much as I love Shakespeare, I think I gotta Hamlet's tab this one. I'm gonna kill it. There are little, there's one-liners and little bits and whatnot that still hold up, that are fun. But that being said, go watch some Saturday Night Live clips from the 90s. Go watch any other movie that these amazing character actors are in. Yeah. You like Chris Farley? Again, Tommy Boy, much better.
Black Sheep,
anything like that. You like Norm Macdonald? Great. Watch some stand-up. Watch Dirty Work. I don't care. You like Adam Sandler? Watch the next movie we're about to talk about. That's all I'm going to say is Billy Madison can burn in hell. I don't hate it, but it's like, I don't need to watch this ever again. It's okay. Maybe I hate it a little bit.
It's okay to hate it. It's okay.
It's okay.
It was a rough watch.
It was a real rough watch. It was one of those it was an almost between the fingers watch, covering your eyes.
So, having worked in restaurants for a long time, you get people who come in and like, oh yeah, I haven't had a dish like this since, my honeymoon 15 years ago with my now deceased wife, and I can't wait to try it again because it's the best dish I've ever had. And don't try it. Don't relive that. You know what I mean? Don't do it because it's never going to live up to that experience.
That's what we do here, Jason.
I know. It's just we killed the nostalgia. Yeah. We killed it today.
That Panda Express chicken is never going to taste as good as it did when you were 13 years old in the middle of that mall food court. It's just let it go. It's fine.
This is about growing up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something about the sitting next to a Sbarro. So that,
Oh yeah, I mean it's the commingling of the scents and flavors and sensations. No, exactly. You can't mimic that by just going to a Panda Express like off of the freeway or interstate. No. No, it's got to be
All right, on that note.
On that note,
Do we want to take a break?
yeah. Do you guys need a break really quick?
I'd like a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. Cool.